Time moves on, memories remain. The spiciest ones leave their mark even on the rock. On Saturday, June 22, 2024. Former graduates of the 1983-84 school year of Kurbnesh United High School celebrated the 40th anniversary of the closing of secondary education, in other words, state graduation. In this meeting, in addition to the former graduates, the former director of that time, Mr. Preng Syziu, former guardian teacher Mr. Dod Pepkolaj and the teacher at the same time and the wife of the former director Preng Syziu Mrs. Marie Syziu. After a coffee in the town of Rrëshen, our gathering place from where we started the journey towards Kurbnesh, the city where a part of us were born and raised. The city where we got our matriculation certificates after 12 years of schooling. The road is the same as it was 40 years ago, although half of it was paved a decade ago. Everything has degraded and turned into an identity. The same turns, the same pits and stones. Most of us traveled by van specially arranged for this day. Someone with his vehicle. One of the highlights of this trip was the arrival from the USA of Valentina Lepuri, Alarai, who was returning to the city of Kurbnesh, her birthplace after more than 30 years. To come to Kurbnesh, she had rented a car. But as soon as she gets close to the upper perlet, her tire goes flat. But she continues her journey, arriving at Kurbnesh on the tire disc and to return after the festive ceremony in Rrëshen with a flat tire. Bajram Chara also suffered this fate in his vehicle. Perleti Eperm spontaneously became our collection point, as the van we were traveling with suffered a serious breakdown. The trend was long until another van came from the fall and a small car from Kurbnesh. After about 2 hours of waiting in Upper Perlet, we continued the road towards Kurbnesh. Arriving in Kurbnesh was an indescribable emotion for us, in a positive but also a negative sense. The positive was the fact that we were returning together to the place where we had been educated for 12 years in a row. While the negative was the abandonment of the area and the total destruction of the city of Kurbnesh. From the 900 students and teachers that the Kurbnesh United School had, 8-year-old and 2-year-old, when we graduated 40 years ago, today it has degraded to 6 students and 1 teacher. The buildings where we finished our 8-year education, part of us. And the one where we finished a year of secondary education, the so-called technicum, do not exist. We gathered in a classroom in the existing school building, which was built 2 years after we graduated. Time turns back after 40 years. Grays, sorrows, joys, successes are forgotten. Our former foster teacher Dod Pepkolaj appeals. Out of 17 students who had finished Matura, 13 of us were present. 4 were absent for various reasons. Ahmet Chara, Bajram Chara, Devita Sherbi, Diok Bushpepper missing, Hamit Chara, Christina Kalaj, Liza Belishi missing, Mate Bechi Enju Arabi, Preng Jikolai, Pash Kleshi Tafa Chara missing, Valentina Lepuri. Fyolza Lala missing, Viktushka T. Jeladan Vokris F. Jikolai after the appeal. Our former guardian teacher Dod Pepkolaj, as a sign of respect, tribute to 2 former students who had attended part of high school with us, the late Nok Arapi and Gyelosh Belishi, who passed away. I invite us to hold a minute's silence. After the opening speech of the activity, the former director Preng Syziu took the floor, who made a resume of the past years, highlighting the spicy moments that had left a mark on him from our generation. Then some former graduates took the floor. Mr. Bajram Chara, one of the former naturalists, is giving him one of the 3 books he has published so far, Aromo Mali, Poetry, and Rati Bada, Poetry and the Family Monograph. Neve Almor and Elal Avdiat, After conversations with stories and spicy impressions in the school premises, photographs are taken, capturing the solemn moment of the 40th anniversary of Matura 1983-84. With the picturesque views of the relief of Kurbnesh. With the sad sights of the abandoned city in our eyes and longing in our souls. We leave Salita to continue the activity in one of the bars in the old town, where we recycled like 40 years ago, having fun with music and dancing. After the fun comes the separation with the promise to get back together after 5 years.
In the beginning, our former tutor teacher Mr. Dod Pepkolaj, who, after welcoming us, made the appeal and invited us to observe a minute of silence in honor of 2 former students of that high school. Ndok Arapi and Gielosh Belashi, who passed away. Then our former tutor teacher Mr. Dod Pepkolaj said, "You are welcome." In these cases, we all miss each other after 40 years have passed since we parted. Today we are not who we were 40 years ago, but we are them, except from many points of view. You have respected the friend, the self that you have come here today to remember together the best years of youth. We have all noticed that all graduates who have graduated from university do not remember graduation. Or university graduation, but high school graduation, as life in high school is very honest. There is a lot of vitality, a privilege that students don't have. Today, there are difficulties in organizing the celebration of graduation anniversaries, as we are scattered like raven birds adapting to the times. In closing, I wish you all the best in the world. In health, children, grandchildren and whoever you care about. May you all have success and happiness. Then the former director of that time, Mr. Preng Syziu, who remembers. I remember I was 26 years old then. Principal Photo Babe and Vice Principal Gorvalan in Dodger told me to take care of the first year of high school. It was exciting. At that time it was a big responsibility and, moreover, it had been a while since the high school had opened. Anyway, I got it. I knew a part of you because I had you as a student when I was 8 years old. While in the second class, Christina Kolaj and Pash Kleshi from Kadhala Epa, etc. had come. I remember you were keen on activities. I left you as soon as you started your second year, in October, because that's when I became the director. I couldn't take my mind off you. I told Gorvalan and Dodge that we will appoint a very good guardian teacher to this class as they deserve it, and we decided to bring you Dod Pepkolaj. Surprisingly, you did not consider me as a director. In every activity you invited me to, you called me Teacher Prenger. Every prom I told you that your generation had organized an extraordinary prom night. Today it is unimaginable. We tell our children that we went to law on foot, had the prom night and came back again on foot. It is not even imagined today. You did it. It was you who organized and brought that activity to the end with extraordinary success. You told me, just come with us. We have fixed everything. I see some of you who live in Tirana on social networks. You gathered at the weekend. I used to say to my friends, oh, if only I were there too. It's been 44 years since you started high school, and now it's been 40 years since you finished high school. I wish you much luck and prosperity in life and family.
Visual realization, photo and video, The visual realization, photo and video, was sponsored by Valentina Alarai Lepuri.